and welcome to another Jasper Rocks Craftbox tutorial. As it's another macrame make, it's me, Philippa, whilst Owen is upstairs making some jewellery, much like what you can see I'm wearing today. So today I'm going to take you through making our new Ornate Macrame Leaf, seen here in our mint colour. Today I'm going to make it for you in white. But you have the option to purchase a kit in any of our currently 11 rope colours from Bobony, the best there is around. So let's take you through what will be inside your box. Firstly, there will be 5 lengths of rope measuring 130 centimetres. Then there will be 12 lengths of rope measuring 30 centimetres. There will be a small waxed cotton tie that will enable you to hang it. And there will be this little organic cinnamon stick, smells good, with which we'll be using to hang the leaf from. You will need scissors, sharp scissors, a comb. I am still using a normal hair comb. I've also got a tangle teaser around that I use as well. And what's very helpful for me is a pinboard with 2 pins, but it's possible for you to do it without. It's possible for you to tie on the tie early on and hook that round something to keep it tight, but I'll explain that as we go. Okay, you ready? Let's start. So, first thing to do is take your cinnamon stick and start by using a lark's head knot to wrap it with your longest pieces of rope, the 130 centimetre pieces of rope. So to make a lark's head knot, you fold it over in half, you take the tails underneath, bring them round over to the top and through your loop. Okay, so that's one. Rope in half. The tail ends underneath. Loop up to meet it and through the tails. Can be a bit fiddly because our cinnamon stick is quite short, but you'll get the hang of it. Let's move them that way. Long rope in half, tail ends under, open up the loop and pull it through. Next one. Make sure they're all tight and laying nicely and similarly to each other. Final one of the 5 lengths of 130. Lark's head knot. And now tighten them all up. They don't need to be tight at the top, as long as this line here, they're all touching. So if you're not using a pinboard at this point, I'd recommend getting the waxed cotton tie and creating your hanging tie now so that you can loop it over something, loop it over your knee, the door handle, anything that will keep it in place and help you continue with the leaf. Now what's a good way to tie this? Feed one side, feed one end in the middle of your farthest lark's head knot. Do the same with the other end. This will ensure it stays in place. Retighten those lark head knots if you wish. Tie a normal knot at the end, on the back rather. Wax cotton is brilliantly strong. And pull. There you go. You can now use that to help you in your make. But if, like me, you're on a pinboard with pins, now's a good time to keep it fixed down. I'm going to put a knot there and there. Okay. Right, now let's start creating our diamond shape pattern using double half hitch knots. So find your center point, which will be one tail of the middle lark's head knot going to the right and one to the left. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines of rope each side. I'm going to start with the right side. To create the double half hitch knot, you take your leading string or your holding string and hold it in the direction you will be knotting. So for us, we're going diagonally out to the right. So I'm going to hold it like that out to the right, as that's the line of string that lies in the center and creates the shape. So working outwards through each of these 4 remaining lines of rope, we take the closest, holding your holding rope, flip it over, in the gap and pull up, guiding it up so that the knot crosses the holding rope at a right angle. And you repeat it as it's a double half hitch knot. Okay, and then that one just lays there. Continue with the next one. Hold your holding rope, flip over the next one, push it up so it's creating that pattern of knots. 2 more. Holding rope goes over the knots. The knotting rope flips over and knots around it, flips over, comes in through this gap. And the last one. Okay, that's the start of your diamond pattern. Now we're going to do the same for the other side. Take your holding rope, that is going to form the shape that the knots will follow, going diagonally to the left. Hold it over the knots over the rope you're about to knot with. bring up the first one, flip over that side and through the gap, and then guide the knot up so that it sits in place. Again, over the top and through the negative space. Next one, from underneath, over the top, through the gap. Next one. And the final one. Lovely. Okay, position, find your center part again and position the ropes accordingly. We are going to now create a square knot with the ropes in the middle. You will not need the outer two ropes, so cast those aside. With a square knot, we're now working within the framework of just these 8 ropes. Okay, so these are now your outer for the square knot. You take the left over in an L shape, you take the right over this one and in that space there. Okay, pull as much as you think it requires while still maintaining the pattern, not too tight, and then you do the same the other way. So the right one goes over in a backwards L and your left comes over there under the whole bulk of them and through this space here and pull it up tight. And then just take a little time to position these tails where they should be, in about the same position through which they fed into the square knot, because of course we'll be using them again in a bit. Okay, there you go. Now we're going to continue with the bottom half of our diamond shape. And I'm going to start with the right again. So now you take your holding string and we're knotting in this direction. So we hold it in this direction. And then working through the next 1, 2, 3, 4 ropes. That's your center point. We do the same double half hitch knots going in this direction. So the holding string goes over, excuse me, the first rope underneath, comes over, flips over, as I like to say, and then through the space. Twice. Next one. Guide the knots up with your thumb so that they lie correctly. Okay, that's the right side finished. Move those all the way out to the side so you're clear with what you're doing. Take the left outer holding string, hold it in the direction you're knotting, and work through the 4 ropes underneath. I know I flip between calling them rope and string, but I hope you're all right with that. So the first one, flipped over, pulled through, and again, Last one. Lovely. Now, although you've done the correct number of knots, they're open at the bottom here, so it doesn't matter which side. If I'm going to follow this pattern on the mint one I've done already, I will join them by continuing this line of knots. So here's your holding string, and join them together using this lower string from the other side. One, two. Now your diamond is complete. So time now to create our second diamond, and I'm going to continue with this line of knots, rather, making a continuous nice line here. So this is our holding knot, and we will be using the knots on the left to continue. Now this will mean that we get these lines of rope on the outer design of our diamonds. Okay, you'll see those come to life as we start. Let's go. Next one, take from underneath, flip over the holding string and pull. Last one. There we go. Okay, so now you'll see we're left with these 3 bits of rope here, and they can be as loose or as taut as you wish. Find your centre part, which is somewhere up here, and now we do the same with the other side. This is your holding string. You've got 4 lines up here to knot with. Okay, hold it over your first knotting line, bring from underneath, flip it over and push up. Repeat. Next one. Next one. And the final one. Now we get to do a lovely square knot. So move your outer strings to the side, we don't need those. These next ones become your outer strings with which to make the square knot. There we go, it pulls it all together nicely. Same way the other way. Right string is a backwards L, left over that backwards L, under through the negative space. Tweak the placement of the inner lines so the knot sits exactly where you want it. And you've basically got the strings sitting in the same place. Lovely. Now we're going to complete the bottom half of our diamond in much the same way. Doesn't matter which side you start with. Pull the holding string over to the direction you're knotting and start your double half hitch knots with the remaining lines. One, two. Same again the other side. Holding string comes over to your left hand. This rope's getting a little short, but it's not a problem. And so we're just about finishing our lovely diamond shape, which is what makes this leaf, fringe leaf, a bit more special than all the ones you see around. And this shape is also a great one to use to add to your macrame repertoire on bigger wall hangings, table runners, anything really. So let's join the bottom of the diamond up again. I'm going to continue the same way I was going, holding string over, final double half hitch knot. And that holds it all together very nicely. How are you getting on? Let me know in the comments. The next stage, we will be using our 12 pieces of 30cm rope, and we will be creating the fringe by using lark's head knots, 6 each side, onto the outermost exposed rope. Okay, 2 here, 4 here on both sides. So in the same way that you did the top, you fold the 30 piece in half, use the tails to come under and through, a bit fiddly, through this outer line here, pull it through the loop. There you go, tighten it, move it to the top, so you've got space to do another one. Fold in half, tail ends, it does tend to twist a bit, that's okay. Tail ends underneath your rope here. Might have to feed it through one at a time, but it's so soft and lovely. Pull them through the loop. And repeat the same lark's head knot 4 times just on this outer piece of rope. 1, 2, 3, 4. To everyone who is making this without a pinboard, hope you're getting on all right. It is possible. I've made this on my lap, sitting in front of the TV. Sometimes it actually gives you better control. Okay, repeat those 6 lark's head knots on the other side. that's the last one. And you've guessed it, all these tails will become our leaf fringe. So this is where you can let your creative juices flow. The size of the leaf is completely up to you. The shape of it is up to you. You could do it quite thin up here and a real big point here because you've got enough. Just be aware of where your shortest ropes are here. I still think that's plenty for what you need. There's another short one there. So using those as a guide and trying to stay symmetrical, take your super sharp scissors and start chopping. If you want to use a paper template to ensure it's super symmetrical, be my guest. Okay, that's a good place to start. As I've mentioned, I use both a Tangle Teaser, other brands available, and a normal hair comb. Just experiment with what works best for you. This will take a fair bit of time. So, get going. Ta-da! We are floofed. Make sure you comb front and back, and once you're able, comb out from the roots of the rope to really make sure you're unfurling each line. I recommend this as a very therapeutic, mindful activity. It will make sense to comb downwards. That will ensure the leaf sits properly, especially if you're hanging it up vertically. Once you're happy with how it's laying, time to snip. And you will probably come back to this time and time again. You'll notice hairs out of place. It will become a little bit obsessive. It is possible to overcut, so be mindful and try and keep a symmetrical shape. There we go, finishing touches. Okay. All done. Here we go. Your ornate macrame fringe leaf. Let me know how you did in the comments. And that's a wrap. I hope you've all enjoyed making your leaf hangings. I've enjoyed sharing it with you. So please, please, please show us how you've done. We'd love to see. Tag us in images on social media with hashtag Jasper Rocks Craftbox or Jasper Rocks Craft Kits. And yeah, find us there on Instagram _Jasper Rocks. We'd love to see how you do. And subscribe and like this video so you will be the first to be informed about new craft kits coming your way, either decor or jewellery. Have a great day.